This looks like the scene of the crime, Alana. We'll go inside and see what we can find.
Okay.
Before we start work, Alana, I have to get prepared. Put on some overalls, collect some of our scene examination equipment.
I want to be a forensic scientist because I reckon it'd be fun and interesting to find out all about what crimes are going around in the area, and all about, you do different things each day. There's things like ballistics, scenes of crime, photography, all sorts of things.
First of all, we have to record the scene with our camera kit, and then collect any physical evidence that we might find.
My dad associates with police officers a lot, and he's told me a fair bit about it, and it sounds very interesting to me.
The camera's here. Just a standard 35mm camera kit.
Are you able to buy those cameras just from a normal camera shop?
Oh yes, yeah. If you've got the money to pay for them. Got our crime scene kit here. You need various types of bags and containers for different types of physical evidence.
Do you get many cases that you can't solve within a few months or years, or haven't even solved yet?
Yes, yeah, there are a number of cases that can't be easily solved, even though we may find physical evidence at the scene. A lack of witnesses and other assistance from the public in helping the police with other information does make some crimes a bit difficult to solve. They can take a long time, yeah. Well, here we are, Alana. Might look like much, but this room is actually full of forensic clues that we can use, and Belinda, our fingerprint technician's already at work.
So Belinda, what are you doing?
Well, Alana, I'm dusting for fingerprints. We can see here that there's been a hole punched through the glass. So I'm just using this powder, which is basically titanium dioxide. It's like a talcum powder type of substance.
Okay.
And we just brush that on the glass, and it should bring up any prints if there's any there. I'll just use this littler brush to get the fine detail out of the prints. So I've just brushed those now, and you can actually see some ridges. If we have a look through this magnifying glass, you can actually see how much detail's there. Can you see that?
Yep.
That's the sort of print that we need to take photos of, and then we take them back to the office, put them into the computer and scan the computer to find out if we can match it up with an offender's fingerprint. So what we'll do now is we'll take some photos.
What we'd also be looking for here, Ilana, is evidence of fibre transfer, because with jagged surfaces like this, people leaning in, they often leave bits of fibre. There might also be some blood. I think there's some fibre caught up here. Might be a bit of blood just here, some fibre there, but we'll check that later.
To become a crime scene investigator, what subjects at school would anyone need to learn?
Well, that's very important. Because you're dealing with such a broad range of different types of materials and evidence, you need a good knowledge of biology and chemistry. Mathematics is also helpful. Looks like there might be some blood on this chair here, Alana. Put some gloves on first of all. All right, Alana, what we need to do now is test this stain to see whether it is blood or not. And what we use is a indicator strip, which we just rub on the stain that we're interested in. See how it's a yellow colour? Now if we drop on some distilled water, and if this is blood, that should turn green. And that's turning green, so that indicates that this stain here might be blood. So now what I need to do is take another sample, which I'll submit to a laboratory, and they'll determine whether it is in fact human blood.
What led you to be a crime scene investigator?
Well, Alana, I've always been interested in photography, which is one aspect of crime scene examination. Also outside the window, quite often at the point of entry, you might find shoe prints in soft soil, and we can see some shoe prints here in the soil. So I'll photograph those shoe prints and also take a plaster cast of the print. All right, Alana, I think that's the job done. We'll head back to the office, I'll get these overalls off and process the film, see what we've got. Firstly, what we do, we have to process the negatives themselves, and they are placed into a machine here in our office, and it's then processed by the machine through a number of chemical stages until the negatives that you would see, what the ones you get at home, are produced at the other end. All right, Alana, we've got our processed negatives from the scene. What we want to do now is make some paper prints from these negatives. This specific photographic paper that has a special chemical coating on one surface that's sensitive to light. We focus the negative on the paper. Do you want to have a look, Alana?
Sure.
Whoa, look at that.
All right, Alana, here comes our finished photographic print from the scene. Now we can send this to a laboratory in Melbourne, which has a computer database of all the shoes that are available on the Australian market. And they can scan this image into their computer. It will search the database and come up and tell us what type of shoe made that particular print. Okay?
Thanks for showing me around the crime scene unit today. I hopefully should be coming back and working here one day as a crime scene investigator.
Well, we'd like to see you, Lana.
Thanks.